Unlike Camry or Accord, Galant offers the world's most advanced electronic suspension, available anti-lock braking, and was voted Japan's Car of the Year. But Galant's most significant development isn't just the technology that's gone into it, but the feeling you'll get out of it. The new Mitsubishi Galant with prices starting around $10,700. It's suddenly the obvious choice.
How do we measure romance?
It's all a question of quantum physics and time.
What does the future hold?
I believe in long, slow, deep, soft, wet kisses that last 3 days.
Oh, my.
Where do pictures come from?
This is hopeless.
At last, a movie with all the answers. Kevin Costner. Susan Sarandon. Bull Durham. Rated R. Starts Wednesday, June 15th.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you in part by Budweiser. Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you.
Ken Oberkfell leads off the top half of the 7th inning and takes low and away, ball 1. He is grounded out to first and struck out. The only Braves base runner came in the 5th when Deion James reached on an error. We are now in the 7th. And it's even at 1 ball, 1 strike. Pete Van Weren, Skip Carey with you from the Astrodome. And here's the 1-1. 2-1. Got the fastball by Oberkfell, 2-2. You don't very often see Ken Oberkfell look overmatched during a plate appearance, but his last time up and this time up, he has been way late on the Mike Scott fastballs. There's another one. He got that one high in the air, but straight away center field. Billy Hatcher for the catch, and there's the first out in the 7th inning. 8 outs to go for Mike Scott.
You know, we always talk about his court ball, his split finger, whatever you want to call it, and that has been effective today. But his fastball has been better, I would guess, than it's been any time I've seen him in the last couple of years.
Now Gerald Perry, who was grounded out to second and popped out to second. He has been the hottest Brave hitter the last month. Takes inside ball 1. He got her out late. 1 ball, 1 strike. That was that straight fastball again.
I don't know if you guys heard, but Montreal came off the deck with 3 in the 9th, and they're still batting. They've tied the Mets 3-3.
One and 2 now on Gerald Perry. Mets had lost 4 in a row going into that game. Looked like they were going to break that losing streak, but now it's all tied. And here's the 1-2 to Perry. Just got a piece of it. Gerald has had some good at-bats in this series with 2 strikes on him. Scott with the 1-2. Did he go? He did. Strikeout number 7 for Mike Scott. 2 outs in the 7th inning. He is 7 outs away.
This is his other pitch, the split finger. It's nowhere near a strike. Gerald knows it, but too late. He's gone around. Boy, he is mucho tough.
Dale Murphy's 0 for 2. Everybody for the Braves is 0 for something. Murphy's bounced to the pitcher and flied to right. Nothing and 1 the count on Murphy. The 1-strike pitch. Missing. 1 ball, 1 strike. Didn't get the split finger. It's 1 and 2. after the second inning of today's game. Early and I were working on radio. During the commercial break, we were saying he looks like he's got the kind of stuff that could get him into the late innings working on a no-hitter. That stuff just as good now as it was back in the second. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 79 pitches has been thrown by Mike Scott.
Keep hoping it'll be a tortoise and the hare story. He hasn't allowed any hits. Mailer's allowed 11, yet the Braves, really, by rights, it should be a 1-0 game.
It should be. Here's the 1-2 again to Murphy. Got him. Mike Scott with 8 strikeouts has a no-hitter through 7. We go to the bottom half of the 7th. It is still 4-0 Houston.
The Feat of the Week, brought to you by Fast Actin Tenactin, puts athlete's foot out for good. Wednesday in San Francisco, after falling behind to the Giants in the first, Braves pitcher Kevin Kaufman decided to make up for his lackluster start by delivering this 2-run double in the fourth to give Atlanta the lead. But the heroics belonged to Albert Hall, who had this 2-out RBI single in the 9th to put Atlanta up 5-4. Bruce Sutter sealed the victory with his 9th save of the year.
You know what really burns me up? My feet. Athlete's foot kept flaring up. I get rid of it for a while, but it just flare up again. Finally went to the doctor. He told me to get Tenactin. It's what doctors and pharmacists recommend most. Tenactin even cures recurring athlete's foot. Use it regularly like they tell you. It'll keep the fly from coming back.
Fast Actin Tenactin puts athlete's foot out for good.
Gerald Perry and Pedro Guerrero, 2 of the National League's hottest hitters, square off when the Braves battle the Dodgers. Live at 7:35 Eastern on the Superstation Tuesday night.
Bottom half of the 7th inning, Kevin Bass, who's really hurt the Braves the last 2 games, had a perfect afternoon here this afternoon. 3 out of 3, all singles. He has scored 1 run, driven in 1, stolen a base. Strike 1, the count on Kevin Bass. Well, Rick Mailer has done what Russ Nixon wanted him to do, get into the 7th inning of today's game, giving the bullpen some innings off. Albert Hall waves off Deion James and makes the catch to retire Bass. 1 away. That'll bring up Craig Reynolds as 2 for 3. Runs, 11 hits for Houston. No runs, no hits for Atlanta. We're in the bottom half of the 7th. Gerald Perry knocking the ball down, but it rolls away from him. He tried to flip it to Mailer, flipped it over his head. Oberkfell will recover near the mound. It'll be a base hit for Craig Reynolds. The 12th Houston hit.
And Reynolds is 3 out of 4. Perry gets to it here. The ball pops out of his glove as his elbow hits the ground. He had no chance by the time he flipped it and it scored a hit.
Rafael Ramirez is hitless in 3 at-bats. On the outside corner, 0-1. One out, bottom of the 7th. Down even now, the ball and a strike. There's your runner at first, Craig Reynolds. And the 1-1 offering. Missing inside, 2-1. Rick Mailer trailing 4-0, but only one of the 4 runs an earned run. So he's pitched better than the score looks here this afternoon. Foul back 2-2. He has lost 7 straight times to Houston. His lifetime record 7-11 against the Astros. Here's the 2-2. Well hit left center field. Albert Hall on the run. He'll get to it just shy of the warning track. Scampering back to first is Craig Reynolds. Now listen to the ovation for Mike Scott as he is introduced as the next hitter. Mike Scott, who has the fans on the edge of their seats right now with his pitching. 0 for 3 at the plate. He's probably not even thinking about what pitch Rick Mailer might throw right now or anything else except his pitching. One and one the count. Two men out with Reynolds at first. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Andres Thomas across to Perry, who holds the bag, retiring Mike Scott, and that takes care of Houston in the 7th. We go to the 8th inning. And that man will soon be on the mound working on that.
The mental demands on you are very, very severe. Just automatically you get off the edge and you get a headache, and there's nothing you can do about it. It just happens. That's the reason we always keep some goodies handy, because goodies gets rid of a headache in a hurry. For a living, there are times when you really need that.
Speeding in fluids and minerals, supplying energy to working muscles. Nothing cuts through your thirst like Gatorade.
On the Mitsubishi scoreboard, Andres Galarraga hit a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 9th to tie that game up with the Mets. They now go to the 10th inning still tied. Philadelphia behind Kevin Gross is leading Pittsburgh in the 8th. Greg Maddux gunning for another win. He's beating John Tudor right now. They go to the 8th inning there. They're just underway in San Diego with no score, and just about to get started in San Francisco. Over in the American League, Detroit holding on to a 1-run lead over Cleveland. They go to the 9th inning. Boston behind Oil Can Boyd. Looks like they're going to beat Toronto today. Baltimore and New York tied up. Baltimore just scored 3 in the 8th to tie that game. Milwaukee coasting over Chicago. Robin Yount has homered in that game. California an early lead over Kansas City, and just getting underway Minnesota at Seattle and Oakland at Texas. Here all eyes are on number 33, Mike Scott, who goes to the 8th inning working on a no-hitter. He has 8 strikeouts. Deion James leads off the 8th. Here's Skip.
Okay, Pete, thank you. Deion has struck out and reached on an error. That's the only Atlanta base runner. Rafael Ramirez couldn't come up with a routine ground ball. 3 innings back. Good cut at the fastball. Fouls it back 0-1. If you're from the old school and you worry about announcers mentioning a no-hitter, there are 3 electronic message boards here that prominently display the fact that Mike Scott has a no-hitter working. A ball and a strike.
And all around both the National and American League, the ticker service is reporting inning by inning that Mike Scott has a no-hitter through 6, through 7.
1 and 2. I guess that a lot of the people here can't read, because here's a guy with a no-hitter for the home team in the 8th inning, and they've got the wave going here. Amazing. Ground ball. Can Ramirez throw him out? Yes. He's 5 outs away. Here's Ozzie Virgil, a strikeout victim twice. Ramirez made a good play on that ball. Scott pitched one in September of 1986.
Game against the Giants, clinching the division title for Houston, September 25th.
Virgil 0 for 2.
Scott stepping off the mound because of the wave.
I guess, you know, if you pay your money, you can do what you want, but that's hard to understand. Split finger. He was overmatched. So has everyone else been. 0-1. We mentioned earlier he had really been having his problems. He's sort of gotten it straightened out today. High pop. Fair or foul? Can anybody get there? No, in foul territory. Walling just missed connections. It's 0-2. Andres Thomas waits on deck.
The last no-hitter pitched against the Braves right here in the Astrodome by Ken Forsch very early in that 1979 season.
Virgil takes a little time here. Scott knows what's going on. As Pete mentioned, he's pitched one in a more important game than this, so the pressure is not going to get to him. Into the dirt. A ball and 2 strikes. You can see the little extra pressure, not on Scott so much as on the defensive players behind it. Ramirez plays in short left field, knowing that Ozzie doesn't run well. There's Rafi. A ball and 2 strikes. 1 out, nobody on. Nope, 2-2. The 2-2 to Virgil. Line. Whoa, what a play by Reynolds. What a play. He can't come up with a throw, but that'll be an error on the third baseman. That ball was really ripped.
Now listen to the crowd reaction when the E was flashed up on the scoreboard. And that's the only call that the official scorer can make. Virgil hitting it right on the nose. Reynolds doing a great job just getting a glove on it. Tried to throw it on the turf, 1 hop over to first. And Walling couldn't hang on. And there's Mike Scott probably thinking that it was going to be ruled a hit, but it was ruled an error.
Andres Thomas. Split finger, low and away. 1 ball, no strike. Thomas lined hard to center his first time, then bounced out. Juan Eichelberger in the Atlanta bullpen. Virgil, a very short lead. Popped up. Kevin Bass comes in. That will be easy. You know, thinking back to Scott's reaction after that play, I wouldn't be surprised that he was angry at himself for the location of the pitch, for Virgil to hit it that hard in the first place.
Well, that too. He has been so overpowering today, and very few balls hard hit off him. Had a couple in the second inning, and that one, the closest thing to hits in this game, the ball hit by Ronnie Gantt in the third inning, rather, not the second. That was caught about a foot off the ground by Terry Poole in left, and that ball hit by Ozzie Virgil.
He's 4 outs away from a no-hitter. Outside 1-1. I can recall only one 3-ball count. He fell behind Oberkfell 3-0 and then came back to strike him out in the 4th inning. He may have had another, but I don't recall it.
That's the only one.
The 1-1 to the rookie. The split finger. He missed it by a foot. 1-2. Runner at first, 2 out. We're in the 8th. It's 4-0 Houston. But that's only part of the story. Into the dirt, 2-2. Scott seeking his 7th win of the year. Elsewhere, Montreal bats in the bottom of the 10th. Tied 3-3 with the Mets. The 2-2 to Gantt. Foul tipped it. Still 2-2. Remember, in Major League Baseball this year, there have been situations like this 7 or 8 times. Going into the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, pitchers have had no hitters. The 2-2. Popped up. Will it stay in play? Ashby giving it a look. He's got it. Mike Scott is 3 outs away from a no-hitter. But first, we go to the bottom of the 8th. It's 4-0.
Michelob.
On the other hand, I want to point out to you... I can't...
Democrats and Republicans have seldom agreed on anything.
Wrong!
Until now.
After you.
No, I insist after you.
Each party selected Delta as their official airline for both the Democratic and Republican national conventions. Because Delta flies more people, more places than ever before. Whether you're Democrat, Republican, or undecided.
Peanuts, anyone?
Tonight, the James Gang and the Younger Gang, they were the worst of the worst. Now they're together.
We're just making a withdrawal.
Trying their luck in the Northlands. Cliff Robertson and Robert Duvall lead the boys on the great Northfield, Minnesota raid. 7 Eastern on the Superstation tonight. Monday night, they pushed Buford Busser too far.
I had to stand up for myself alone.
He couldn't trust the law, so Buford Busser became the law. Joe Don Baker and the true story of an authentic American hero. Walking Tall. 11:05 Eastern on Superstation TBS Monday night.
Bottom half of the 8th inning. Top of the order for Houston. 4-12-2 for the Astros. 0-0-2 for the Braves. Normally, when the Braves get shut out or in a low-hit game, it's a guy with a lot of off-speed stuff. Not today, brother. This guy has just overpowered him. Hatcher is 1 for 4. Singled, stole a base in the 4th. Rick Mailer has pitched a fine game in his own right. Curve hit off the end of the bat foul, 0-1. By rights, he should be trailing 1-0. 3 unearned runs. Hatcher, Poole, and Doran in the 8th. It's even even now. A ball and a strike. Batting in the bottom of the 8th for Houston in this spot must feel like being the opening act for the Beatles used to feel like. Nobody really cares what transpires. Fast strike over the outside corner, 1-2. Little chop, swinging bunt. There's no way they'll throw him out. Hatcher has an infield hit. Terry Poole is 3 for 4. He's yet to hit the ball solidly, but
not many times you'll see a starting pitcher still in a game giving up 13 hits, but to be honest about it, the hits off of Mailer, for the most part, have not been hit that hard. Only been one extra base hit. That was Bill Doran's double back in the 1st inning. And even with all the hits, without the errors, it would still be a 1-0 game.
Well, maybe for the Braves it'll turn out like the tortoise and the hare in the 9th inning. A little tap toward first. Terry's only play will be to first. Better hurry. In time. Another runner in scoring position. 1 out. Bill Doran, the batter. He's 1 out of 3 with a walk. He drove in the first Houston run with a 1st inning double. The Braves will send a pinch hitter for Mailer, Albert Hall, and Ken Oberkfell to the plate. This kind of game, there's pressure on the umpires, pressure on the defensive players when Scott takes the mound again. Pressure, I guess, on the official scorer. Pressure on the Braves because nobody likes to be the victim of a no-hitter. Runner second, 1 out. There's the man of the hour looking on in the Houston dugout. Down low. 1 ball, no strikes. Normally in this kind of game, a 4-0 game on a Sunday afternoon, a lot of the folks will be heading for home at this juncture. Not today. Scott has a no-hitter. Just missed inside. 2-0. Alan Ashby moves on deck. The 2-0 pitch on the corner. 2-1. Doran didn't think so. Mike Scott in seclusion. Runner heads for third. Throw way left. Hatcher now with 19 stolen bases, 2 today. Ozzie Virgil had no chance. Mailer sort of forgot about him out there. Infield in for Atlanta. It's 3-1 on Doran. The 3-1 pitch. Foul ball, 3-2. So a payoff pitch due Doran. Pop foul back again. Count stays the same.
That's Mark Hill, one of the Houston coaches, over disturbing the seclusion of Mike Scott.
Probably saying, hey, what's happening? He walked him on the corners with 1 out. Second walk for Mailer. Alan Ashby's a tough hitter, but if you get a ground ball out of him, he's an easy man to double.
I'll tell you what I think Mark Hill is doing over there with Mike Scott. Mark Hill is also the man that sets the defense for Houston. He may have been asking Mike Scott how he intends on pitching the hitters he'll probably be facing in the 9th inning.
Ashby takes a curve, low and inside. 1 ball, no strike.
Because nobody wants to make a mistake. Mark Hill has some pressure on him. He doesn't want to have the defense set wrong.
That's trouble if it's fair, but it's curving foul. A ball and a strike to count. 1st and 3rd, 1 out. It's 4-0 Houston. They try to add to that lead. Mike Scott will go to the 9th with a no-hit game. Looking him squarely in the face. Ashby is 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. The 1-1. Almost a wild pitch. It does pop away a little bit. Doran never did pick the ball up at first base. He was screened by the hitter and thus was unable to move up. The 2-1. 3-1. So the plate jumping around on Rick Mailer uncharacteristically here. Denny Walling is on deck. Throw to first. Doran scampers back. I can barely keep score. You can keep track of the pitches. Where is Scott pitch-wise?
Scott has thrown 97 pitches through 8 innings.
Ashby drills it. Foul. Lee Wire wasn't sure. He got some help from John McSherry. Foul by an inch, if that. I'm not so sure myself about that one, but no argument from the Houston people.
Matt Galante saying something not to Lee Wire. Here's another look at it. Looked like it kicked up some dust, but when it went over the bag, it was apparently foul.
The payoff pitch. Ripped into left center field. Deion James is there. He's got it. Runner tags and will score unmolested. It's 5-0. Ashby drives in his 29th run. Well, that ball was in shallow left field, but they took no shot at the speedy runner Hatcher. So here's Denny Walling. I'm sure Mike Scott would just soon get on with it here.
Yeah, I don't think pitchers working on a game like this like to sit around too long in that bottom half of the 8th inning.
That should end the inning. And now the fun begins. We go to the 9th. Mike Scott has a no-hitter and a 5-0 lead.
If you were to design the perfect heavy-duty vacuum, you'd start with a kangaroo, add a hose, and a big rust-proof tank so you could vacuum wet or dry. You'd use a heavy-duty motor. And then you'd put a little vac inside. That's actually the most powerful wet or dry portable you can buy. The new Vacaroo from Genie. It's the big vac with a little vac inside.
Hop out and get one for Father's Day.
Did you know? Sponsored by Sure Antiperspirant. Be just as sure about odor as you are about wetness. Everyone knows about Babe Ruth the Slugger. 60 homers in a single season, 714 lifetime. But did you know that Babe Ruth was also a pretty good pitcher? In fact, while with the Red Sox, Ruth won more than 20 games twice and finished with 94 career wins.
Kathy Durham looks cool under pressure. But just because her blouse is dry doesn't mean she smells good. Because Under Armour odor is invisible, she needs Sure Roll-On. Sure helps protect against wetness and kills bacteria that cause odor. So, Kathy, why go to school with a dry blouse and a false sense of security? Tomorrow, use Sure Roll-On and be just as sure about odor as you are about wetness.
Thanks.
Join me next week for Larry King Live. Guests like former President Carter, Tom Hayden, Vanessa Williams. All next week, Larry King Live, 9 Eastern on CNN.
There's the story of the game, that top portion. No hits for Atlanta. We go to the 9th. Ken Griffey leads it off. Pinch hitting for Rick Mailer, who pitched a good game in his own right. Mike Scott goes to work. Fastball strike. Isn't that something? 0-2. Albert Hall is next, then Ken Oberkfell. Pete Van Wieren is on his way to the field if Mike Scott gets the no-hitter. We'll try to talk to him for you. The 0-2. Ground ball. Doran falls down. Has time. 1 out. He's 2 away. We'll see it again. I think a little pressure here on Doran. He got to the ball in good shape, but to make sure he went to his knees. Here's Albert Hall. He has twice struck out, once bounced out. Cool as a cucumber, isn't he? 1 out. Oberkfell on deck. Scott has struck out 8. He's thrown 100 pitches now. One and one. The outfield shades Hall slightly toward left. Reynolds even with the bag at third, thinking about a possible bunt. Right at the first baseman. He'll take it himself. It's all up to Ken Oberkfell, a contact hitter for the most part. He's gone 8 2/3 innings. Oberkfell has bounced to first, been called out on strikes, flied to center. They're on their feet in the Astrodome. I like looking at the little kids, 8, 10 years old, who might be seeing history. Something they'll never forget. Line right field. It's a base hit, and the no-hitter is history. Oberkfell hit it hard. Nothing fluky about it. But remember this. Were it not for the 2 errors, he would have never batted. Now listen to this crowd. You could see the disappointment. Here's Scott as the ball was hit. He knew as soon as he let it go he was in trouble. Here's Gerald Perry. Upstairs, here's the way the Houston bench reacted. He went 8 2/3. He might have had a perfect game today. That's the ball game. Brilliant job of pitching by Mike Scott. 1 hit, no runs, no errors, 1 left. The Braves have been shut out for the 8th time this year. And Houston wins the game 5-0. Houston left 13 men on base. The Braves left 3. 5-13-2 for the Astros. No runs, 1 hit, 2 errors for the Braves. Scott is the winner. He is 7-2. Rick Mailer is the loser. He is 7-6. The game-winning RBI goes to Bill Doran. Pete Van Wieren is on the field, and we're still hopeful of visiting with Mike Scott. Rob Matwick, the fine PR man, is down there now. Pete Van Wieren is standing by. And we'll just wait a second until he's ready.
Back a little bit.
Okay, let's go to Pete Van Wieren on the field with Mike Scott.
Okay, thank you, Skip. Well, Mike, that's about as close as you can come to a second no-hitter. Tell us about the pitch that Ken Oberkfell hit.
Well, I threw him a first pitch split finger fastball, and I live and die with it, and I died with it tonight. I didn't see the pitch when it was over with, but I imagine it was up a little. But, you know, it was a clean base hit. There's nothing you can do about it now.
A couple of close calls earlier in the game. In the third inning, Ronnie Gann hit a fly ball to left field that Terry Poole made a fine play on. Then you had the play that the error was called on your third baseman. I guess those are the only two that really were close to being hits prior to the Oberkfell hit.
Well, they hit the ball pretty good. Billy Dorn made a good play to start off the ninth there, but that third inning, all three of them hit the ball real well. And, you know, Craig made a good play on the ball that I think Ozzie Virgil hit the third. And, you know, I don't think I had the stuff that I had against the Giants, but it was good enough to keep him from hitting the ball, and we made the plays.
We commented as early as the third inning that it appeared that you had the kind of stuff that was overpowering some of our hitters, and it looked like you might be able to take a no-hitter late into the ballgame. How did you feel early in the game about your stuff today?
Well, a lot better than I had in the past. The last few games I've been giving up runs in the first inning, and you know, you get in a rut like that. That was my main goal tonight, was to get out of the first inning without giving up any runs, and I knew we needed some innings tonight because our relievers have been working a lot. But, you know, mainly tonight I wanted to get out of that first inning and then go as long as I could, hopefully give our relievers a rest.
Every pitcher is always very aware that he has a no-hitter going. When does it really hit home? When do you really start thinking about it?
Well, after the fifth inning, I knew I had one, but I also knew it was a long way from there, and I wasn't too concerned about it. And then I guess after the seventh inning, you know, I really, you know, we had a 4-run lead, then we got to a 5-run lead, and then that's foremost in your mind right there is to go ahead and see if you can get it.
Well, Mike, again, congratulations on a superb pitching effort. 1 out away, and maybe next time.
Thank you.
My thanks to Mike Scott. Back upstairs now to Skip.
Okay, Pete, thank you very much. You know, it's easy for a player like Mike Scott when he gets the no-hitter to stop by and visit. Shows you a little something about Mike Scott, the person that he took the time, even with the disappointment of losing one with 2 out in the ninth. 5-0 Houston, the final. We'll be back right after this.
When a lot goes into getting a perfect 35mm photo,
Okay, all right, everybody.
make sure it gets the individual attention it deserves with Eckerd's UltraLab 35 photo processing. UltraLab examines each negative for color and contrast, uses only Kodak paper and chemicals. Plus, UltraLab prints are 30% larger. Take your 35mm film to someone who works as hard as you do to get that perfect photo. Eckerd UltraLab 35. Nothing looks better.
Mitsubishi knows you want a truck to be tough. But we also know you want more for your money. Mitsubishi Mighty Max trucks give you more. Up to 2.6 liters of power, a 5-speed stick, more standard features for less than Toyota, Nissan, or Mazda. Even the lowest priced macro cab. The new Mitsubishi Mighty Max trucks. Mitsubishi, suddenly the obvious choice.
Tonight on National Geographic, it's lifestyles of the really huge. Go behind the scenes in Tanzania for exotic mud packs and out cuisine. It's the world's largest land animal, the African elephant, on Explorer. 9 p.m. Eastern on the Superstation tonight.
Growing up with a sports legend, the children of Jackie Robinson and Bill Russell talk about that on the sports page. 11 Eastern on Superstation TBS tonight.
Well, it was a thrill, even though the big thrill didn't happen. Here's your line score. Houston, 5 runs, 13 hits, 2 errors. They left 13 men. For Atlanta, no runs, 1 hit, 2 errors. The Braves left 3. Mike Scott, the winner, is 7-2. His second one-hitter. He has 1 no-hitter. Rick Mailer didn't pitch that badly. He's the loser, 7-6. Bill Doran, the game-winning RBI, his 4th, 31,778 paid to see it. Kevin Kaufman against Nolan Ryan tomorrow on Braves Radio only. Here's the base hit. Let's try to spot the location of the pitch. It wasn't that bad a pitch. It was down close to the knees, but drilled into right field, and great camera work there. You see the disappointment on the face of Mike Scott. But he won the game, and the Braves will try to salvage a split in the series tomorrow night on Braves Radio only. Craig Sager standing by with the Inside Baseball Report. That comes along next. For Pete Van Wieren, Ernie Johnson, Billy Sample, and our entire TBS crew, see you Tuesday night when the Braves are home against the Dodgers. Have a pleasant Sunday. So long, everybody.
Atlanta Braves baseball has been brought to you by Michelob. So exceptionally smooth, the night belongs to Michelob. By the official airline of the Atlanta Braves, Delta. We love to fly, and it shows. And by Turtle Wax, the world's largest selling car wax. Atlanta Braves baseball is a production of TBS Sports.
When a lot goes into getting a perfect 35mm photo,
Okay, all right, everybody.
make sure it gets the individual attention it deserves with Eckerd's UltraLab 35 photo processing. UltraLab examines each negative for color and contrast, uses only Kodak paper and chemicals. Plus, UltraLab prints are 30% larger. Take your 35mm film to someone who works as hard as you do to get that perfect photo. Eckerd UltraLab 35. Nothing looks better.
When I go on vacation, I leave the entertainment to Ricardo, the cooking to Francois, and the picture taking to Minolta.
Minolta Freedom Dual. A touch of the button for group shots and telephoto, too.
I leave it all to my Freedom Dual.
It's autofocus with 2 built-in lenses. Your check?
You can leave that to my husband.
Freedom cameras. And the new Weathermatic Dual.
Only from the mind of Minolta.
I was cooking out on the barbecue the day that stranger came. He had a bottle of bullseye in his hand. It's the best there is, he claimed. He spread that bullseye on my ribs and flames rose from the pit. When the smoke was sweet with that big, bold taste, he said,
Partner, reach for it.
they had the big, bold taste of greatness that words just can't express.
For folks who know real barbecue,
Bullseye is the best. The big, bold taste of bullseye, that's the best.
Great Animal Moments is brought to you by Calcan, recommended by top breeders.
yours.
In The Red Pony, the dream of having one's own horse comes true for a boy whose unbounding love for Gavilan makes this a classic story of friendship and sometimes patience.
Come on, Gavilan. Please,
Calcan salutes Gavilan from The Red Pony, one of motion picture's greatest animal stars.
Bill Pace, top breeder of champion field spaniels.
They're a bunch of happy, healthy dogs. They got good shines to the coats. They're full of energy. If you don't have top quality food, then you're not going to be able to produce a top quality dog. I feed Calcan pedigree, and the dogs love it. It's got lots of meaty chunks. I would recommend Calcan, number one, because I've got proven dogs that have done what, other dogs have never done before.
Pedigree dog food, recommended by top breeders.
Growing up with a sports legend, the children of Jackie Robinson and Bill Russell talk about that on the sports page. 11 Eastern on Superstation TBS tonight.
Old Milwaukee's Inside Baseball. Brought to you by Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light, two of America's great-tasting beers. It doesn't get any better than this.
Black Rock, Nevada and Old Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. Black Rock means land sailing, riding the wind across dry desert lakes. And Old Milwaukee means a great beer, cold, crisp Old Milwaukee beer, and smooth, golden Old Milwaukee Light.
There's nothing like the flavor of a special place and Old Milwaukee beer.
Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light.
You know, guys, it doesn't get any better than this.
Good afternoon, I'm Craig Sager, and this is Old Milwaukee's Inside Baseball. The New York Mets continue to have the best record in the National League, despite a 4-game losing streak that they carried into this afternoon's game in Montreal. It was their longest losing streak so far this season. They were coasting along comfortably with a 3-0 lead until Andres Galarraga hit a 3-run homer off reliever Randy Myers in the 8th inning. That sent the game into extra innings. On the 11th, 1 out, right between the legs of Terry Leach. Hubie Brooks, the winning hit. Tim Raines scores. The Mets have now lost 5 in a row, their longest losing streak of the year. For Philadelphia, Kevin Gross the win. Steve Bedrosian picked up his 7th save. Chicago leads St. Louis 4-2 in the 9th and be the Cubs' 3rd straight win over the Cardinals if they hold on. San Diego has opened up a 4-0 lead over L.A. The Padres going for their 4th straight win. And Cincinnati has scored 2 runs early against San Francisco. 67 years ago today, Babe Ruth pitched 5 innings, hit 2 home runs. Last night, another Yankee pitcher had the bat in his hands. We'll be back with the American League highlights after this word.
Logan Pass, Montana and Old Milwaukee both mean something great to these guys. Logan Pass means trailblazing, exploring the wilderness of Glacier National Park. And Old Milwaukee means a great beer, cold, crisp Old Milwaukee beer and smooth, golden Old Milwaukee Light.
There's nothing like the flavor of a special place and Old Milwaukee beer.
Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light.
Guys, it just doesn't get any better than this.
It was the best against the worst in the American League this afternoon. The New York Yankees at home, 22.5 games in front of the Baltimore Orioles. Baltimore with 2-19 against left-handed pitching. Normally we don't show you foul balls, but take a look at this catch by Mickey Tettleton. Goes into the stands. Did he hold on to the ball? He sure did. Washington is out of there. Yanks leading 5-3, but Eddie Murray hit a 2-run homer in the 8th. That tied the score at 5. But Claudell Washington came back. This time he hits it in fair territory. Over the right fielder's head, Wayne Tallison scores the winning run. The Yankees win at 6-5. Baltimore now 23.5 games out of first place. Elsewhere, Joe Carter hit his 12th home run of the year, but the Indians still lost by a run. Detroit's 5th straight win. The Tigers remain 2 games behind the Yankees. Mike Greenwell had a 3-run homer. Boston defeated Toronto for the first time in 8 tries. Robin Yount, Dale Swing have homered from Milwaukee. They now have opened up a big 13-2 lead over the White Sox. California scored a pair of runs in the first and a home run by Wally Joyner, but Kansas City has come back. The Royals now lead at 4-2. Minnesota on top of Seattle by a run in the second. And Dave Stewart of Oakland goes after the elusive 10th win he's been trying for several weeks. That's tonight against Texas. Our next Braves telecast Tuesday night against the Dodgers. We invite you to join us tonight for the sports page. Our guests are Karen Russell and Sharon Robinson, the daughters of Bill Russell and the late Jackie Robinson. Hogan's Heroes next. The Braves lost 5-0. A one-hitter by Houston's Mike Scott, broken up by Ken Oberkfell. 2 outs in the 9th inning.
Old Milwaukee Inside Baseball has been brought to you by Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light, two of America's great-tasting beers. It doesn't get any better than this.
growing up with a sports legend. The children of Jackie Robinson and Bill Russell talk about that on the sports page. 11 Eastern on Superstation TBS tonight.